Grunge became a noun. It seemed a way to pigeonhole a bunch of bands.
Along the way, somebody decided to call it grunge.
What is grunge? Does it involve the flannel shirt?
Hey-o!
Yes.
Welcome to the Grunge. I'm your host, Joseph Rose.
And I'm your co-host, Jerry Wood. I did it right this time.
Is that right?
AKA Bling Crosby. I like that. I thought about that
I kind of
today.
love how you introduce yourself
Twice.
more formally. Most times you say Jeremy, and then I say, hey, Jerry, because, you know.
It helps the whole dynamic, but I feel as we gain the millions and millions of subscribers, I don't want to confuse anybody. I want to be sure that they know me by my real name, Bling Crosby.
Now we know.
I'm changing that shit.
How's it going? What's new? What's shaking?
Nothing's exciting, man. I'm just happy to be back. Right now, we have a ring of light, unparalleled, staring directly
You're
at me.
always talking about the things we're not supposed to talk about.
Oh, the ring of light doesn't help.
We just look very even naturally.
I don't know. This is some Instagram makeup girl filter
All right.
thing. I like it. I mean, no one can see it, so it's not a thing. But know that
now everybody knows about
But
it.
now I'm being stared at by
Hey
this.
guys, let's talk
ring
about a
of
ring light. Aside from that, what's new? You were allowed to come to a podcast today.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Okay.
talk about it.
I knew
No,
this
all
was going to
right.
come
All
up,
right.
and I thought I told you I didn't want to talk about it.
All right,
but
we won't talk about it.
Now we broached a subject much like last week. We're going to start off with some uncomfortable shit.
We don't have to.
No, let's talk about it. I am a man who has responsibilities. I work a full-time job during this whole crisis. I do not want to, but it happened, and it's happening still to this day. I deal with hours of rejection with all some type of positive outlook, but it's mostly swallowing sadness for 10 straight hours. And then I am ridiculed for not being able to make it to a podcast.
There's no ridicule.
And I am not making a significant amount of money on. I appreciate the fact that I'm actually being included into it because, I absolutely know shit about this subject. I'm here. I mean, I have an idea of what I'm supposed to be hearing, but I'm talking about music of people who didn't wash. That is what we're talking about, and we're going to continue to talk about it for what is conceivably 65 straight weeks, which is...
I mean, it's going to be... I mean, you're going by the numbers on the amount of albums we have listed to cover, but we're surely going to do a bunch that aren't even on that list.
Not for nothing, I do enjoy this. I do like coming out here, Joe. I do like doing this.
He's going to go Joe on me.
Joseph. Oh, I'm sorry, Joseph.
Oh,
Shit.
my Lord.
I don't know my own name or my
Some
co-host.
bitch is trying to get thrown out. Wow.
I don't know my name. I don't know your name.
But what were you saying? No.
Oh, I forgot, man. And I'm not the one.
It was something about you not being allowed to come do podcasts.
Usually, I do have a finite amount of time, and what I do.
Oh, that's for sure.
And this is my free time. I don't bowl. I don't play darts. I sparingly drink anymore. So I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. 42.
What is your? Since you mentioned the drinking, what is your current relationship with alcohol and other substances that some might call drugs?
Well, yeah, no, there is the since I've had a kid and all that other stuff. There's no real. The days of blunts and bongs are over, but there's a responsible 3-hit night at the end of the night, looking around. Unless it made me laugh. I did do that when I went home.
You're
last
still
time.
cool to get on some weed sometimes.
Oh my God, yeah. It's just
Okay.
we right now. If I can't imagine being high with the fucking Eye of Sauron.
Do you do the weed at home?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's downstairs in the basement with a mannequin head.
Oh, yeah.
I've named Patrick. It's interesting. I was trying to bring it here.
That's you guys are listening, and that sounds like a weird thing for Jerry to say, and I don't know if he's kidding. But if he's not, I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Well, if you go to my Facebook, I have it in every one of my videos.
You're what's his
Patrick.
name? Patrick.
It's a styrofoam head that looks
Oh,
oddly
right.
enough like Andy Samberg, but it's painted green.
All right.
My daughter did one that was totally unsettling.
So
But
you go down there when you have the urge.
go down there.
to
There's
get a
workout
little
equipment,
stoned.
collecting dust.
What do you like to do when you get stoned?
I like to listen to music, man.
Yeah, that's what you do?
I do come home and I do listen to the albums that I think we're gonna do.
Okay.
And
How
then-
do you like to listen? You go headphones?
I have my Samsung Galaxy S10 Edge Plus. Looking for that sponsorship.
What do you got? Some earbuds or what?
Earbuds. They go
Earbuds.
directly into my ear. And it lets me know when I
You got to get yourself a nice set of serious big boy headphones.
I do
like, not
have
even
them.
like these, like some good ones.
I do have them, but I don't know who's gonna walk in. I'm never comfortable.
I feel that sentence feels too true.
Oh yeah, it should be true. This is a dump, man.
I want you to feel
a mental
comfortable
dump.
more comfortable in your life. I worry about you, Jerry.
It is
I do worry
it is
about
a
you.
world of uncertainty.
You know I love you.
I love you. I mean, we didn't talk to each other for what? We hadn't seen each other for a better part of. We talked about how we met last time, which was under dubious circumstances. How we really met is I was playing a video game with my friend Andy, and he came in, and that was about it. And after that, and it's not as glorious as we had it come off last week. But
everything we said was true.
Everything. No, there is no lying on this shit.
I mean,
It's
we
real.
might lie about shit, but that whole story was true.
Mostly the lies are coming from when I think something's released or something.
Yeah. The lies aren't lies; they're just wrong information.
They're real, but we went years. I mean, I lived in Pottstown, Florida,
Yeah.
New York. I mean, you went and you've done several incarnations of different types of music, and we've all traveled, and then we came back here. What really makes this work is it's sort of like, I mean, really, I can't. There's similarities as that we're Caucasian, but after that, we traveled very different paths. You know,
Sure.
So-
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's a miracle that we're standing here in front of this ring of fire talking about great music. And today, this is a great music, but being comfortable, that's not really happening right now.
No.
No.
I hope that somehow I can inject myself into your life just enough to like positively influence your personal freedom.
I appreciate that.
That's all I want for
Well,
you.
I
And it
do
comes from a
appreciate
place of love.
Mm-hmm. And many have tried to inject me, and that's literal and figuratively. They probably tried to get up in me, and I hope to inject something into you, whatever that may be.
Well,
I don't have a trait right
open.
now.
I'm open. I do want to say before we get too far into this that this episode is being brought to you by Blackheart Letterpress. Blackheart Letterpress makes fun, unique stationery printed on a 100-year-old printing press. Go to blackheartletterpress.com for a selection of fine greeting cards and postcards.
I will say I endorse this product wholeheartedly. There is something about having a what is that called? An artisanal card or something made for you. I'm staring right at this Johannes Gutenberg type thing now.
No, Jerry, you're not. You're staring at our production office where the cameramen are working on our show.
Oh.
Now,
What
are we going to talk about today?
Before we do that, you plugged.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay? I did not know
I was
that
just
this was
reading
a place-
the ad. I wasn't plugging. It's my job.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But by all means, Jerry.
I have a job too.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let's hold off on that considering the subject matter. I work for a very highly regarded automaker.
All right. Well, okay. Let me transition us properly.
Please do.
Welcome to 1989. We're entering 1989. We're going to talk about the debut album from a little band from Aberdeen called Nirvana.
Nirvana, the one.
All right. Are we familiar with Nirvana?
Very familiar with Nirvana.
Okay. Before we get there, let's talk about 1988. I mean,
89.
89. I just fucking said it.
Listen, man, we can't be held to standards. There's no one knowing.
I'm a professional.
I don't know. The crew of people that usually work with us they're not paid.
All
so,
right.
So we have
We're
to
in
deal with that.
1989.
1989.
What was happening in 1989?
Again, much like 1988, The Cosby Show ruled the roost on TV, on network television. It was The Cosby Show was number one. Roseanne, which had previously come out that year before.
I love
Cheers.
that you have papers.
Well, this is dude. It's
No, I
obvious.
like it. It's like you're. It's very official.
It's got. I wish they were index cards, like
It's
Dennis
analog.
Miller.
It's analog, man.
Analog.
It's the 90s.
It's the 90s.
Or it's not. It's 1989.
89. We're close though.
But shit.
Wait,
Same.
we're years away from the PDA.
Did
man.
we have printers in the late 80s?
We had something like that. Cheers, A Different World. Again, Lisa Bonet comes up in this one again. And America's Funniest Home Videos knocks the Golden Girls out of top 5. So that was
Who
that
didn't
was
love some America's Funniest Home Videos?
Dude, I loved it. It was the genesis of the crotch shot.
Yeah.
People getting hit in the
I
balls.
mean,
was
it definitely
great back then.
popularized it, I would say.
Dude,
to
it
a
was huge.
New generation.
As far as albums go, I mean, if we go directly to June, this was the time, June 1989. The Raw and the Cooked by the Fine Young Cannibals with She Drives Me Crazy absolutely dominated
Huge,
the month.
right?
It did. It went from June 3rd to June 15th, knocking off Like a Prayer from Madonna, and
Whoa,
was
shit.
was conquered by the Batman soundtrack for Prince.
Okay.
And conversely,
Now, so I have a list of a few albums
yeah.
that were notable for me, but you have some. What were you feeling in 1989?
in 1989,
were you listening to?
this was before I received Motley Crue. I had been given Dr. Feelgood. That came out in October, but I got that for Christmas. But the time of the albums I had was Walking with the Panther by LL Cool J. That album was Going Back to Cali, and Tiny's Got a Big Old Butt. That was a great song.
Yes.
And everyone knows this one. It was Young MC's Stone Cold Rhymin'. You couldn't get away from that song. Bust a Move was the big hit on that one. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, come on, Fat Boy, let's bust a move. That was huge.
For sure. Everybody knew that jam. It was a good jam.
It wasn't
It was
bad.
fun, playful.
It's funny that and Tone Loc came out in the same year with I think Funky Cold Medina.
Yeah.
So like, if you really wanted to get into like
What came
popular
out?
rap,
What came out first? Which Tone Loc jam? You know what I'm talking about.
I was Funky Cold Medina.
No,
Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
It was on the Loked After Dark album.
Yes, correct.
And that was something. But you have albums as well that
Some notable albums from 1989. Oh, and I think, simultaneous kind of discussion here. We do bonus albums for the Patreon channel, and we focus on like related albums. We've done Mother Love Bone so far. We're going to do a lot of others that are directly related to our early 90s grunge scene here. But there's nothing stopping us from doing a bonus episode on any album that isn't related from that time period if we're into it. I'm just throwing that out there.
think that's
so if any of these grab you, you let me know, and they could be a good candidate. Aerosmith released Pump. One of my top 2 Aerosmith albums. I think number 1 is Get Your Wings, back in 1975, I want to say.
yeah.
And Pump. I don't know. I love it. The production on it sounds great. The drums, go listen to the Pump album with fresh ears and tell me that album doesn't sound fucking amazing.
Oh, we had
the
it.
production is stellar. That drum sound is all you could want from a fucking rock and roll drum sound. The Cult, Sonic Temple,
Yeah.
produced by Bob Rock, with the smash hit single Firewoman.
Oh, I love that song.
I remember the first time I saw the Firewoman video on MTV. This thing came on, maybe it was on Henbagger's Ball or something, probably. And it came on. I didn't know about it at that point. I don't know if I even knew about the Cult at that point. It came on and I watched it, and again, it was one of those times that has happened with a few bands, Guns N' Roses being one, but I saw this cool motherfucker singing in this band, Ian Astbury, at his absolute coolest at this time. Or if you go back a little in the Cult to like watch the video for She Sells Sanctuary from an earlier album.
I could never say that properly.
It's a tough one. She Sells Sanctuary. Great song, great fun video, but the guys, including Ian, they look kind of a little new wavy, kind of a new wavy vibe.
Puffy shirts is why I remember.
Some puffy shirts,
I remember
a lot of like, it was a thing. But you move forward just a tad into the Sonic Temple era, and it is a whole different scene. They are unrecognizable from that. They are wearing their rock and roll blacks. Billy Duffy, I think, has a cool fucking vest on. And then there's Ian Astbury, at that moment, the coolest motherfucker in the world. Pin straight, jet black hair, down to basically his ass. All black, with a slight flare at the bottom of the fucking black jeans. Yeah. And he is the coolest motherfucker ever.
Perfect.
By the end of that song, he is on the ground humping the stage. It's unbelievable. Do yourself a favor. Check out the Firewoman video from The Cult. Okay, the self-titled album from a band called Dangerous Toys. I don't expect a lot of people to know Dangerous Toys. They never really made it to the big time.
We all three of these. I mean, I remember the album covers.
Yeah, with that clown.
The clown on the front, but Aerosmith's Pump was great for,
Oh, yeah.
for the truck on truck action.
Yep.
The Cult, they were always good at our album cover, and Dangerous Toys. You always looked at again. I wasn't a fan, but you see the front of that cover, and you're like, I need to hear. You see that album, you're like, I want to listen to this, and then
Those guys were like, think of an Appetite for Destruction type vibe, but ass kickers from Texas. Like a lot of bands had that LA vibe. These guys had this unique Texas twist on it, and love it. Faith No More, The Real Thing, came out in '89.
That fish really made me sad, man.
It was a wild fish.
That was a wild ass fish.
You love that album.
I do. Mike Patton. I mean, if to me, he was the perfect mix of what I thought if I was a frontman I'd like to be. Like I could never be a David Lee Roth. I could never be like Robert Plant.
I tell you though, you mentioned David Lee Roth. To me, Patton. I mean, are we talking vocally or like frontman style?
Oh no, he was just as wild. Don't catch me lying.
Yeah, because he was up to some weird bullshit.
Quirky as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing that the whole.
But a great singer.
Just top to bottom. I think he's even recognized as having one of the finest the finest range. As far as a metal rock
he's
band,
up there.
I mean,
he'll take a back seat to Axl and Chris Cornell, and those type of dudes. But yeah, he's legit. Mike Patton is, he's a super unique, wild fucking
go from
frontman.
Like Peeping Tom. I mean, there's just so many different amalgamations of that man, and I've always enjoyed listening to him. I'll listen to anything he does.
And Faith No More, like this album came out. Faith No More existed before this, but with a different singer, and nobody gave a fuck. They come out with Epic. With this album and explode onto the mainstream. MTV fucking couldn't get enough of that.
They finally get a video, and he's wearing his previous band's shirt,
Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle shirt, during the video for Epic.
And so that album's huge. They do great. And then they put out their next album, Angel Dust, and the jump between that album and Angel Dust is as big as I've seen any band make, like sonically. Like, how the fuck did they go from that to that? And Patton doesn't even sound like the same guy.
No, that was the one with Evidence on it, correct?
No.
No, I'm sorry. All right.
No, Angel Dust had Midlife Crisis.
There you
That
go.
was the lead-off single and
go.
video for Angel Dust, Midlife Crisis.
And that was a rockin' jam, too, man. I love that.
Great song.
Just a great song.
Great song. So yeah, that was a great album. Guns N' Roses released their EP, GNR Lies. Patience was the big smash success off that one.
And when you say that's probably what got the Axl like shoulder jiggle thing. I mean, he did it a lot, but Patience was the slow version of it,
right?
Where he gets his shoulders and his hips moving back and forth, and you're like, and everyone did that.
That was definitely a kinder, gentler Guns N' Roses.
And some excellent whistling.
He's legit a really good whistler.
I mean, let's never. I mean, I can't whistle for a goddamn. I'm not going to blow into this.
Barely. That must sound fantastic to somebody listening in like some earbuds.
Yeah, I'm going to be downstairs tonight. I'll be like, Jesus Christ. Mark Maron doesn't do that shit.
Apparently, whistling into a microphone is hilarious when you're stoned.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And finally, the debut self-titled album from Skid Row.
Yes.
You laugh?
I
sir?
don't laugh.
You're not a fan?
I am a fan. I didn't know the album, man, but I remember really being real into that single. 18
in Life. That was their first one.
That somehow got through the hip hop version of it. It's like and just the everything about that song was so like it was angst. The drunk dad, all this shit, and then and then he just goes ballistic and he shoots a good friend of his.
Am I making this up? It was, I think, based on a true story that had previously been in the news. Am I making that up? I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember him walking out of that really shitty house and the dad pointing at him, and then he shoots Ricky. No, Ricky shoots somebody. He shoots his best friend.
Or Ricky shoots his friend.
He shoots his friend, and then a glass breaks. Which is the universal sign that shit went down.
Is it? Is that right?
Yeah, you drop the glass. That's why everything's made of plastic now, so it's a more peaceful world.
Yeah, well, I guess we're shifting away from that.
Right.
So you weren't really into the Skid Row. You enjoyed that song, but you didn't really follow up.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
I love that
follow them.
fucking album. And after that, they made another tremendous album, Slave to the Grind, which they ratcheted up the heavy on that second album. And god damn, they were powerful.
And that is the thing. But yeah, I might have lumped them in with an unfortunate thing because we were going to bring up movies, and Batman was big back then.
Yes.
And one of the big
1989.
videos in 1989 was I think it was much later, much earlier, but it was Warrant's Cherry Pie. Some reason I put all of those bands together.
Okay, listen.
I know I can't say that.
No.
But all of them seem to just be one big pudding.
But it's funny that you say that. Like I'm aware. I know exactly what you're saying. You get these sort of hair bands. It's a thing. I don't love that term, but okay, they're hair bands. And it's easy to take them all and lump them into a thing and whatever. I'm very fond of a good bit of music from that era, some of those bands. Now, Warrant. You bring up Warrant. Am I a Warrant fan? No, I don't spend any time listening to Warrant albums. I never spent a lot of time. When Cherry Pie came out, I probably got it on cassette and listened to it a bit, but they were never a band I was all into. However, on this album, Cherry Pie, one song stands out. To this day, I cannot not get fucking pumped when a song called Uncle Tom's Cabin comes on. There's a music video to accompany this song. If you want to check that one out, great video. And by great, I mean, it's fucking great. It is great. It is cinematic. I mean, they had a budget for this fucking thing. It is cinematic. There is a tale being told at this shitty sort of riverside cabin along in this bayou type area, And there's some shady characters in a little boat that pull up. A shotgun blast opens the door as the fucking riff kicks in. And what a riff kicks in. Like, no lie. Like, this is a badass, legit song. It's ridiculous. Janie Lane is they're dressed like cowboys with tight black leather pants and like rock and roll vests and shit and little black gloves. It's awesome. It's a shame that the song, which is so good, is slightly tainted with the general like coloring of that time period and the genre.
And Poison, and all of them came together.
Yeah, but damn, it's slamming. Another recommendation, everybody, please. Warrant, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Do yourself a favor and crank that bitch up. And if you want to have some more fun, watch the music video while you do it. It's a hell of a ride.
And do yourself a favor and watch the video for Going Back to Cali that had no budget. On the LL Cool J, it was just a guy in a car talking about California, but it just sounded so goddamn cool. It was just real. But I'm going to give Uncle Tom's Cabin a whirl tonight to see what it is because I'm
so tempted. Sometimes I just want to fucking. We start talking about a song. I want to play that song.
Yeah, but we would ruin everything.
I try so hard to like not do it.
What was last week? Last week it was Cult of Personality.
Yeah,
and
greatest song.
A couple days after the fact, do you still stand behind that?
This is not. I didn't come up with that opinion on the fly. This has been a, cemented sort of opinion of mine for quite a long time. I think of it all the time. The song, and let's separate. It doesn't mean it's my favorite song. It's got to be up there. I love the fucking song. I don't know what my favorite song is. But favorite and best are not the same.
No.
I'm able to separate those things. But objectively, what song is totally better in the hard rock genre, even if we just limit it to that? Like, what's better?
I don't know.
I don't know. If anybody has any ideas, tell me if you know a fucking song clearly better.
Hit us up on Twitter at the Grunge Pod. It has no followers.
Than Cult of Personality from Living Color. All right, we're going to move on. We do have one listener comment on the previous albums that we listened to. Our pal Tara Doherty Paul. She says, She's speaking of the Soundgarden albums that we just got done doing. These are two albums that were not even on my radar. I'm glad you asked for thoughts, or else it would have remained off the radar. It gave me something new to listen to, so I listened to Screaming Life Fop on my work commute today. It sounded how I expected it to, actually, early Soundgarden. They just have a very distinctive sound. I wasn't really into some of the vocals on this album. I love Chris and his vocals, but something on Little Joe I just didn't like. Oh, worth noting that today, as we record this on the 18th, I believe today marks 3 years since we've lost Chris Cornell.
Oh my God.
3 years ago today.
Oh,
I think that's true.
That's worth bringing up.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna, but there it is.
It's happening, and it's a timestamp that we need to recognize.
I was bummed for sure.
He just seemed like, interviews, he just seemed like one of the really good guys, supportive to the whole thing.
Yeah, look, Chris was, how old's Chris? He was in his 50s. I don't know how old, but he's in his 50s. He's wealthy. He's got a family, a wife and children that, let's assume, they love him and they seem affectionate toward him. He's got sold out shows of whatever size, full of people that love him and sing his words back at him every time he wants to play a show. He's got a creative band that he's a part of that are amongst the greatest of all time. And still, something wasn't quite right in that life that looked so great from the outside. And he took his own life after a show.
It's a tale that is extremely familiar. Success doesn't buy you like anything. Really.
People actually called me when he died. Like the next day when the news broke, people called me like I had lost a close friend. Like really, like I was fucking legitimately bummed.
It was depressing. I think for 3 out of the 4 bands we're dealing with, there's gonna be a lot of depression. There was that one time you heard it and you're like, oh, goddamn, that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And these are things you face, and everyone, you just said, all this seems so perfect. But it really is just it's an experience.
Like you wish that was your life.
Right. Robin Williams. What did that look like? What did that look like on the outside? That looked fantastic, you know, but we just don't know. And you can't judge. It's sad, but it's not your life, And he had the right, and he took it. He made a decision. So, but it doesn't, we can still say it sucks because what could have been.
It sucks, for sure. It sucks. He was a person. It sucks for his family, obviously, and his friends and everybody that knew him. It sucks for us, just selfishly. We lose more Chris Cornell. We don't get any more.
They think about the Linkin Park fans.
I was looking forward to a new Soundgarden album. Mm-hmm. Like they had made their comeback album, King Animal, and it was better than it had any business being.
Oh, yeah, there's so much great music in it.
Really good. And so they were back to being a band again after a long time. And I was really looking forward to that next Soundgarden album. That's the album that counts more almost to me. After a band is gone for a long time, they make that comeback album and it's probably made of pre-existing pieces and this and that. I always like that next album.
Right.
Like now that you guys have, reconnected, what do you do?
There's nothing pent up. It's now it's starting from zero.
Well, you may never hear it. And we're not going to get into it now, but Chris's estate, Chris's wife, and the Soundgarden guys are at each other's throats.
Oh.
They're suing each other left and right. They're arguing over stuff. She doesn't seem great. I got to be honest. That's my opinion. But
again, another a story we've heard before with the estate versus the artist involved. Everyone wants a chunk of it. So I think Whitney Houston's went through it.
Yeah.
The band we're covering today had that was a shit show.
Even a little bit of that, something going down in the news right now. Speaking of Nirvana, so Kurt and Courtney Love's little daughter, Frances Bean, is, pretty grown up nowadays, and she's already got herself an ex-husband. And while she had this husband, she gave him, or I think it was maybe part of the divorce settlement actually, she gave him the acoustic guitar used in the Unplugged.
Oh.
It is now going on the auction block starting at $1 million.
It's not going to end there.
No, it's gonna sell.
That album. All the albums. We're gonna cover a great one.
It's just so recognizable.
You go to the Unplugged. That Unplugged.
Yeah.
That was the musicianship.
It's so recognizable, and that guitar, like you've seen it a million times.
Right.
What
was that? That kicked off the Unplugged, didn't it? No, I'm wrong in saying that. There was a hip hop one. I forget it.
Yeah, they'd been going for a while. They because they did a ton of them way back, and they weren't all really big.
No,
you know, they were doing it.
I shouldn't
But that was like maybe the height of it.
I mean, you would. Can you imagine? You wouldn't even have that. That guitar couldn't be displayed if it wasn't behind glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If anyone touched it, it's an immediate ass kicking.
Yeah. Definitely. Should we move into Nirvana territory now? I guess this is a natural segue. Let us pause for one moment to mention our website is thegrungepodcast.com. We would love for you to visit there. You can find all the links to the podcast there. Subscribe everywhere. You'll find a contact form to send us an email, which you should do, along with all of our social media. And, of course, a link to our Patreon page where you can subscribe. There are a couple different tiers, and we do bonus episodes that are exclusive to the Patreon channel.
Yeah, it's exactly exclusive. And I imagine there'll be some other content, some small things that we can offer.
We're going to do some stuff.
I do see that, exclusive, when we do get merchandise, that you'll be the first ones to know about it. Just a fantastic tool, and really, I mean, not for nothing, I'm flattered beyond words that somebody would pay to listen to what we're doing.
I just caught wind, if that's the right word to use, of the wild sock situation that you've got going on. Jerry.
For people who can't see us, or people who are not listening, these are
that's a shame.
Urban Air socks. These they give them to you at this basically this gym that you can get on the trampolines and stuff.
So
like
that's
that.
the trampoline sock you're wearing.
These are the trampoline socks. Yeah.
Why are you wearing that?
A little flare when I cross.
You
my
just
legs.
like the look of it.
Well, yeah. People, it's also a conversation piece, and I live off of that.
I thought there might have been some functional reason you were wearing the anti-slip sock.
When I sell cars, I don't like having my I want my shoes on.
Okay.
And especially with this COVID.
So, like I was saying, guys, go visit thegrungepodcast.com. And if you want to support the show on Patreon, please do. We will reward you with fantastic bonus content. And there you go.
Upcoming.
Okay, Nirvana. Who's Nirvana, you ask? Nirvana was an American rock band formed in Aberdeen, Washington in 1987, founded by lead singer and guitarist Kurt Cobain and bassist Chris Novoselic. I don't know. Christ. The band went through a succession of drummers before recruiting Dave Grohl in 1990. The drummer on the album we're going to listen to today was named Chad Channing, I believe. In the late 1980s, Nirvana established itself in the grunge scene. All right, Bleach was on Sub Pop. It's their debut album. There you go.
Nothing notable about this.
Look, it's Bleach. It's the first album. It's the first one. Right? That's what we need to know.
From probably one of the most recognizable groups, probably the most recognizable at the time. I mean, not at this time, but like later, Nirvana was the one. But
I guess if there's a band,
the mascot
of the big four, is Nirvana the biggest?
It's the mascot, I think. I think it's the one you point to.
Well, I mean, if you like,
I was into hip hop, right? And so back then, and people weren't talking about Soundgarden. They weren't talking about Alice Cooper. They were talking about Nirvana.
Well, I'm even thinking like album sales. It's either Nirvana or Pearl Jam, but it could easily be Nirvana just based on Nevermind.
Nevermind alone. I mean,
that album is well ahead of 30 million copies, I believe. And that's a lot of copies of an album.
Yeah, Pearl Jam's been doing it a lot longer, but that is a one.
And Pearl Jam had a couple real big albums, especially 10, but I don't know if it all adds up to more than Nirvana.
But if you were to have, we do a Mount Rushmore picture. I mean, this is the guy.
We do.
We
do
have the Mount Rushmore, and he's on there for a good reason.
It's Mount Grungemore. See?
Oh,
see?
Oh, Mount Grungemore.
Mount Grungemore.
Okay.
Hey, woo! Ready, guys? Should we do it? You want to do it?
And away we go.
Bleach, let's dig in. The first song is called Blue. That's pretty gnarly sounding.
I do enjoy that. Menacing type.
Hell
Here
yeah.
we go. At first I heard, I was like, it sounds like L7's at the beginning of an L7
Definitely.
song.
God, I wish my weed wasn't so far away.
Listen,
It's fine.
I don't have much to add. I'm just going to get up and get it.
No.
So I had revisited this album while mowing my lawn, and and this song came on, and I was like, I forgot. I listened to this album, must have been like 100, not hundreds, but a couple times, and just in the background. This is rock and roll, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's beyond that grunge label.
Yeah, Nirvana never sounded like this again after this point. It was a unique start for them.
One of the more lyrically impressive albums too. I mean, we're gonna hear a couple songs on
Yeah,
there. That
I mean, I really like that.
Yeah.
I like when he just says the same shit over and over again, and the second verse is the same as the first verse.
Right.
Like, just I kind of this might be my favorite era of Nirvana, I think. And honestly, it took me a long time to even be okay with Nirvana.
They were a pop band. I mean,
Well,
you can't watch that off. I mean, people rage against them.
When this was out, I wasn't aware of Nirvana. I became aware of Nirvana when most people did, when Smells Like Teen Spirit came out. And I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay, cool song. I'm starting to hear it too many fucking times. That turned me off. I didn't buy the album. I wasn't in love with it. But then it became clear, in the press, Kurt, who is just a wildly unlikable character to me. Like, he is an unlikable fucking guy.
I didn't get that off.
Like, I've watched documentaries and interviews and all this shit, and I try. And I'm like, I can't. And that probably helped me not get into Nirvana for the longest time. But he would always talk shit about Pearl Jam. And I was way into Pearl Jam. And so it became, there was clear Team Pearl Jam or Team Nirvana. And I was 100% Team Pearl Jam. And so Nirvana could fuck right off back then. I was not fucking with Nirvana.
He always came. I think this is when I looked at him and you think about the era. I mean, this might have been before that whole slacker generation thing.
Yeah.
And he looked like that to me. And to
Yes.
me, that was when his interviews just seemed to encapsulate like, I'm not trying too hard. I just do this. And I'm just doing this because I want to, and you guys might like it, And I was drawn to that. Whereas you were Team Pearl Jam, I was Team Nirvana because it just seemed so effortless and almost ironic that he was popular.
Well, and I extra loved that then, all the way up through current day, Pearl Jam would go out of their way to be extra kind and complimentary of Kurt and Nirvana. They wouldn't say a bad word. Like, they would, even watching PJ20, the Pearl Jam documentary from a few years ago, Stone Gossard was just going in hard on, his, praising of Kurt and Nirvana and how, whatever.
Do you think he was
whatever?
You think he was being just doing it to do it?
Who knows? But it makes me mad. Sometimes I wish I could hear them say, fuck Kurt. Whatever. It's fine now.
A real Seattle beef,
fuck that motherfucker. Who got the last laugh, bitch?
You did.
That's insensitive, Jerry.
It was totally insensitive, but I think they just said what any good rapper would say about that,
Sure.
I don't even think Biggie did that when Tupac died. So if
Remind
you
me-
were to look at that, it's all along. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's along the same lines. Because Biggie didn't say a lot of bad when he wasn't really all that in on Tupac. Tupac went in on him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
hard,
yeah.
you
Don't
know?
get me started on Biggie. He's another overrated fucking whatever for another day.
Bonus content.
Let's listen to at least a couple seconds of one of these songs.
Yeah.
This shit has, a clearly metal tinge to it.
It's a garage band,
You
vibe, and it's just and this is a 3-piece, I mean,
Yeah.
so they're not. I've always
Sometimes.
wondered about that. You're limited when you're a 3-piece.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no. The bass has to do a lot of things. I think when I listened to Primus, they didn't need much more than 3 people.
Right.
That guy
Chris
did all that.
is maybe the most rudimentary bass player I've ever fucking seen in a band. Really. You couldn't strip anything else away. It is the bare bones.
Along the lines of Lars is Metallica. Lars and Metallica. I mean, you love
Listen,
Metallica. I mean, but
I'm also a Lars apologist. I'm telling you, if I could pick a drummer for my band other than my drummer, real high on the list, if not number one, would be Black Album era Lars. I love what he does.
A lot of groove on that album.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is about a girl, of course. I think the unplugged version of this song was very popular. People love that version.
Yeah. But, this and the unplugged,
Yeah.
but that recorded live is almost the same exact song. The unplugged would be a live recorded album. His vocals don't change.
Yep.
I did like this song, though.
The shit's catchy. His strength, Kurt's strength is definitely his songwriting. Like, just the ability to strip it down and craft a memorable, catchy, cool song.
A good groove,
The musicianship isn't knocking anybody's socks off. The production on this couldn't be more bare bones, really. It's just the songs.
But I worked at a music store, and we had a guy who was real into Nirvana, and I remember but he played them ad nauseum, so it was overexposed. A guy did the same thing with not Candlebox, Candlebox, Collective Soul.
Oh, unfortunately,
I have no love for that band.
Fuck them.
Yeah, thank you.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. Candlebox.
Collective Soul. You get them mixed up. I don't even know if I'd have an opinion on him if I didn't hear that fucking shit over. And in fact, I would lock when I had to count the till at the end of the night at the wall. I would lock the Price is Right theme on the repeat, and it would just be the Price is Right theme the whole time for this guy. Like, he's like, Jared, what the fuck? And I'm like, sitting there, you're just gonna play Collective Soul anyway? Fuck you. Here's the Price is Right theme for 20 minutes. I do. That'll be a bonus episode, by the way, on our Patreon. Game show themes. Get ready. That'd be cool if I only found time to do the bonus episodes and it was just the shittiest
Jared,
music.
listen, we're gonna have to. Oh God, I love this song. School.
Yeah,
this is maybe high up on my fucking list on this album.
Back.
Did your wife talk to you about me?
No, she thinks this is a perfectly fine
Did she tell you that I tried to be her friend on Facebook? She has not accepted me.
She has not accepted. We'll talk about what's going on later, but yeah, it's nothing.
We should
nice.
talk about it now, perhaps.
All
right, we don't have to.
Yeah, that's I'm not. You know what though? From past experience, maybe I don't want you to be friends with my wife.
Love this song. It's a good one.
Podcast ended. And how sad is that? No recess. Like, oh, I want recess. This hit.
I love this shit. When it's just grimy riffs. Fuck you. I love it.
It seems like you just when I tried to play bass. And it seems like something I could do.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I accidentally did
You
this.
definitely could. Like, literally, Chris is... I'm not going to say he's a bad bass player. I don't know what he's capable of. I'm just saying the bass being played by Chris in this whole band is as rudimentary as you can get. Like, it is...
I was trying to learn a Sweet Leaf, and I played a Nirvana song accidentally.
Same thing.
No, the middle of Black Sabbath songs rip you apart. Like the beginning part's like.
Geezer Butler might be my favorite bass player in the world. In fact, it's usually a tie. I can't decide who my favorite is: Geezer from Black Sabbath or Ben Shepherd of Soundgarden. Those are my two favorite bass players. Fun facts, guys.
Yeah, I always like. I mean, I know a lot of people. I've always liked Les Claypool. But there's no reason not to, you know. I mean, he's great.
Definitely got his own thing.
He's playful. And that's a good. There's some good bonus episodes. I mean, I know we keep on talking about the Patreon, but like that
bonus episodes are fun.
Primus would be a very interesting listen. Well, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver was on. I use that all the time.
Fuck Jerry.
So it's not my name anyway. Don't make no never mind.
Fuck, that's a good jam.
This rule.
So fucking good.
One of the longer songs on this album, too, if you look at the time.
Is it?
runtime.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm not paying any attention to how long they are.
Oh, I do.
Love Buzz.
See, at least it takes a modicum of skill.
This is a cover song. It's a cover song. It's an old fucking song. I don't know. I heard the original not too long ago. It's cool. I'm used to this version, so.
Okay.
It's like real old. It's like an old song. I don't know who does it. Nobody you probably would know. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite ones on this record, too.
There's not a lot of bad songs on this.
He says heart there, right? Queen of my heart?
I believe so,
I think the
yeah.
original says, like, they say a different word, like queen of my love or something. I don't know, but not heart.
That would sound awkward. I'm gonna say this sounds awkward. Him singing this does not sound right to me. I mean,
You're not into it, or?
I mean, I like the music. He does freak out, which I like. I like screaming. Don't get me
Sure.
line. Yeah, but this. Yeah, I wasn't. This was the one where I was like, okay, But I was also mowing my lawn.
That's what
Might
you
have
were
been
doing
something
with it?
popping. There might have been something.
Had this
my
in the
face.
earbuds?
Yeah, earbuds, and then a bee got at me, and I was like, fuck this. I don't like this song at all. Circumstances might have ruined it. It's catchy though. That's what this is.
I love it. I love it. What?
Would you believe?
How dare you, Jerry?
I'm not to speak ill, but come on.
I mean, look, he's not a great singer by any, like, technical fucking viewpoint.
He's trying new things. He's not staying in his lane, and I appreciate that. You know.
I like it. Again, like, it took me a long time to, like, be cool with Nirvana, but I'm okay. I'm okay with them. I'm not hating. I separate Kurt, the unlikable motherfucker, from
totally
the
different
music
viewpoint.
that I can listen to and enjoy.
Right.
I try to separate it and not think about him. I even watched whatever that was it, Montage of Heck, some documentary that came out. I watched that thinking, oh, this will paint him in the best light possible, and it did. And even with that Kona Pate, still
They're still a piece of shit.
piece of shit. He's a piece of shit.
You don't have to like him.
I don't like him. But I'm cool with the music.
I mean, I like Yngwie Malmsteen, but
I do not. Don't like his music. Don't like his attitude. Don't like anything about him.
Lane Staley trying to hand him a donut. Get the fuck away from me. Future podcast.
You're never. Well,
Tell me.
no, it's fine.
No,
it's fine,
leave it.
Jerry.
You already talked about it.
No, it's fine.
No,
Mystery.
No. I have to talk about every goddamn incomplete sentence I have. What are we talking about?
I can't ever tell you now.
Oh no. On part 2 of the Grunge podcast.
That's right. On part 2, guys, tune in for part 2. We're gonna do that on our 69th episode. Part 2 will happen.
Yes.
Listen to the shit. Paper cuts.
Yeah. And again, I think I wrote this song trying to learn bass. Boom, 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 boom. Like I think I'm doing something. Yeah, they were. This is a metal type vibe going.
They definitely had more of that. Yeah. Chad Channing, the drummer, ended up leaving the band. I believe willingly. I believe the story was he left, and it was over serious creative differences. I don't think he felt satisfied with his ability to participate in the songwriting process, which, was Kurt's thing. Kurt was Nirvana. Kurt wrote the songs. That's the deal.
Really?
Yeah.
No one had a piece of that.
I think toward the end, Dave got to write a riff on a song,
Oh God.
But that was it.
So you're in prison the whole time.
I mean, you're in
Yeah,
prison
making
that's
millions.
going to give you millions of dollars,
Well,
and you
yeah.
don't even have to know how to write any songs. If you're Chris Novoselic, you don't have to know how to write any songs. You don't have to waste your time writing them, and you really don't even need to know how to play the bass.
Right.
Yet you get all that Nirvana money from touring with Nirvana
Right.
and
Yeah.
playing on those records. You know, like
Yeah.
that is the sweetest deal ever.
One of the more
And what has Chris done since then?
politics.
Not a single fucking thing worth talking about.
No, not
No
one
cool
thing.
music, no nothing. He shows up every 17 years to play a couple Nirvana songs with somebody, and that's that.
Look,
Motherfucker's just at home counting money. He's just counting money.
Okay, I take back my previous statement. Yeah, I take that.
I think Dave walked out of Nirvana at the end with like $15 million of Nirvana money, I'm pretty sure. And he's just the fucking drummer. You know?
Yeah, he came in late. Not late, but he went off to do. I don't think that Nirvana. I think that Nirvana money is a drop in the bucket now for him.
I mean,
That Foo Fighters thing
Still.
is pretty fucking big.
I don't know though, compared to Nirvana money. Well, the advantage Foo Fighters have is just longevity. They can tour, and
Right.
nowadays your money is touring, and Nirvana can't tour.
I remember that day. There goes that hero song. There goes my hero.
Yeah.
I mean, that was massive.
Yeah.
You know,
Never
so
a fan of Foo Fighters.
I don't like them either.
Yeah.
There's not much I can listen to
Never
about
got
them.
into
They
them.
seem like, you know, they reminded me of, I don't know, it's not the same band, but like the Wallflowers are popular when they were popular. I was like, this, I put them together in that. I lumped a lot of people into one big boat. I shouldn't have.
You do.
So they
Very
weren't
closed-minded of you, Jerry.
Well, you know. Yeah.
I love it. I love this weird shit. Oh, Kurt, you silly fuck.
It's all stream of consciousness, and I like that.
And, well, no. All right, we'll wait. I've done enough shitting on Kurt Cobain for one day, I guess. We
Yeah,
are listening
I
to a
mean,
Nirvana record.
And a really good one at that. I mean,
Yeah, it's so weird, man. It's so weird that I can dig their music while being just so fucking disgusted by him and his terrible behavior. Negative creep. This is the first song I ever fucking liked by Nirvana, maybe. This one. I heard that, I was like, yeah, all right, that's badass. I'm into it.
Now, you talk about like listening to bands and stuff like that, listening to music. Now, were you ever go to someone's house and be like, hey, I got this band, I got this new album. You want to listen to it with me?
Oh yeah.
And you guys would have like listening things.
Yeah, I have a lot of memories of the day I got an album. Lots of different albums.
Yeah.
I have those memories for some reason. And like one that stands out with friends, since you brought it up. I was in my little high school band with a group of friends. You know those guys. It was the day. It was the day of, or maybe the day before, the official release of Tool's Anima album, which I guess was, what was that, 96? I believe it was 96.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to band practice at one of the guys' houses. We would practice in his basement. And at this one music store, you could usually go in there the day ahead of the release date and buy it. They would sell it to you early, and it was kind of shady. It was like, they're not allowed. You're not supposed to do that. But if you're like, hey, come on, I know,
it's back.
they'd do it. So I stopped at the old compact disc outlet over there in Norwood, Pennsylvania, and purchased that Anima record, and then continued on my way to band practice. I walked into the room and just held it up like, dudes, I got this new Tool album. And it wasn't even a conversation. Everybody put their instruments down. They're like, all right, fuck it, let's go upstairs, listen to that. And we went right upstairs, all put it on, and fucking got around at the same time to check out the eagerly anticipated new Tool album. Back in the day.
You never say I did that.
No.
It always felt like I was being being cornered with that shit. You know,
So weird.
Yeah, I tell you, man. Somebody would say, "I got this new album," and they would play it loud as hell, and you'd be looking at them like, "Okay," you know. I mean, you'd like some of the songs, but then most of the time it's just right in your goddamn.
I mean, I
face.
guess it all just
Depends on shared interest.
Just depends
too.
on who you're with. Yeah.
Shared interest
Yeah.
is also a thing, and I
Yeah.
can't say that I ever had any. With specific circumstances, there has been no
Right.
real shared interest.
Right.
I think helps me in this case for what we're doing.
I mean, you know, like I love that thing. Like I have a whole fucking record club that I do with friends. You know, we just listen to music that we've never heard before, and like just listen to it, like loud, you know, stoned, like focus on the music, you know, and it's awesome. Scoff is this track. Scoff. 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 That's a wild word.
That's a
Scoff at
That's
you.
a scoff. Good day, sir. You know, what was I listening to? Not to take away from this. I was listening to a podcast, and somebody was like, "Do you know Good Day, Sir?" It was like the old-timey version of "Fuck you, sir."
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck you, sir.
Good day, sir.
Fuck you, sir. Yeah, give me back my alcohol. Yeah, give it back to him. If you want to take it to today's things, give me back my Adderall. Give me back my Adderall.
Don't fuck it up, Jerry.
But this goes to what you were saying earlier, where he can say the same thing over and over again and it works.
Yeah, I like it better when he does that. It's like my favorite part of Nirvana when he does that shit. And I love how like they'll have songs where the chorus is just yeah, like just
Yeah.
like that's the chorus.
It's a good punk vibe.
Yeah.
You know, the punk, yeah. So I never got the Ramones, you know. I wanted to. Yeah, every song was the same, and it was awesome, except for Pet Sematary.
It had a vibe, you know.
It was for what it was. In my face, it's not over.
Yeah, we're probably not going to do a whole lot of lyrical analysis, but maybe.
It's the one I
Maybe.
really keyed in on the most as far as the lyrics go, and it shouldn't have been. So we've had a bunch of other ones, but
For me, it's School. I love that one.
I tried. This is a thing that Courtney Love immediately jacked as soon as that Prom Queen album. It's like this whole
What,
that whole sound.
Live Through This?
Live through this.
Yeah. I was never much of a whole fan. I appreciated some stuff on the Celebrity Skin album. It had a couple of 3 jams maybe, I don't know, that I thought were pretty good.
I didn't think they were bad. They were
But
good.
then there was a bunch of stories that like Billy Corgan wrote all that shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
when that first came out, it was a Billy Corgan thing. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't
but it
know.
was like, you know, who no one takes credit for it. You know, you think that he would say something
I
about
don't know
it by now.
what the truth is.
I mean, I'm responsible for that. I mean, no one wants to admit that.
It was successful. I mean,
It worked.
You know.
But you pay the man.
they had at that time, Hole, and we're just Tangent City here. Hole had Melissa Aftermar on
Yes.
bass, and boy was she a cutie
She
back
was a
then.
very attractive woman.
Very cute. Damn it, her
It-
fucking little freckles and her
And the
red hair. Oh my
and the kinky
Lord.
red hair. She was just she was something to behold.
God damn. Yo, fun story. I won't get all into it, the circumstances, but I once found myself backstage at A Perfect Circle concert after the show. I found myself backstage at many A Perfect Circle shows. Maybe a story for another day. But this one day, I believe Washington, D.C., I think we were in, hanging out with Troy, who played guitar in A Perfect Circle, now plays guitar in Queens of the Stone Age. Anyway, chatting with Troy, up walks Dave Grohl. And so I'm talking to Troy. Dave Grohl walks up, and I give him the old, "What's up, Dave Grohl?" And then we're hanging out for a little bit. And then the star of the show walks up. Melissa Aftermar herself walks out of nowhere, right up, and I'm like, "What's up?" Melissa Aftermeyer, I hope I'm saying your name right, it then became clear that she was currently dating Dave Grohl at that time.
Okay.
And that put a damper on the situation because clearly, had she not been dating Dave Grohl, she would have come home with me.
That's right.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
But she went for the money instead of the charm,
Well, you're not
and
even-
she went with Dave Grohl.
Trying to sell out.
Yeah. And I should just say, since we're talking about nonsense, Melissa Aftermeyer has made 2 really great albums of her own.
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, so great. Like, legitimately awesome albums. I love them.
Titled or I mean, what is it?
The first album was under Aftermeyer, and the second one was Melissa Aftermeyer.
Okay. Well, there we go. That's a lot of
2
imagination
great,
there.
great albums. I wish she would make another one. I don't get the feeling that she's going to. I don't know. But they're great. Totally under the radar. Nobody's ever fucking heard them.
No.
But they are great. Like, great production, great everything. She sings, she plays bass.
That I might get into that because she was an alluring part of
Dude,
that.
we should do that.
Let's do that.
Let's
I've never
do a
heard
fucking bonus episode on one of them.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more bonus
it.
episodes
Already we got tone load.
than we're gonna have episodes.
Yeah. Well, you got to go for the people who pay for it. You know, I mean, it is what it is. These freeloaders can get what they want.
We're
but-
listening to Swap Meet right now.
Swap Meet. The first time I heard about Swap Meet was on a Dr. Dre album. I didn't know what it was
There you go.
before.
Popular.
It was on the Compton Swap Meet. Yeah, I meet you at the Compton Swap Meet. Yeah, so when I hear this, it's not how I think it would sound like at a Compton Swap Meet. We're just reading now.
Hey, we never did decide if any of those notable albums were like a good idea for a bonus episode.
Another bonus thing? What are you talking about? Really, if we're talking about when this album came out, we'd have to do the Fine Young Cannibals.
No, fuck that.
We
We don't have to do the most popular album. We just have to do a cool album.
From this era, from this part of the year?
Well, yeah, we had Pump. We had whatever those albums were
Yeah,
that I
LL
said.
Cool J,
Sonic
Pump.
Temple.
Sonic Temple.
Fucking whatever.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to be going with Tone Loc or Young MC, because I don't want to listen to that shit.
We have Aerosmith Pump, The Cult Sonic Temple, Dangerous Toys, Faith No More, The Real Thing, Guns N' Roses, Lies, or Skid Row. Those were the ones I had anyway.
I'm going to go with Skid Row on that, just to do it.
Really? You want
I
Skid Row?
didn't give it a chance, so.
Skid Row or... Let me look at the list one more time. I would vote...
Girl, You Know It's True. By
I
Billy
would
Vanilli.
say Faith No More, The Real Thing, or GNR Lies would be the best episodes we could do.
Didn't like that album.
What?
Didn't like GNR Live.
Did you hear the whole album?
I did. I didn't like it.
Are you sure, Jerry?
Well, give it another whirl. I don't like half the shit we're
I'll
talking
let
about.
you choose.
No.
Faith No More, Real Thing, or GNR Lies.
There's not much
you
that
pick.
needs to be said. I don't want to be. I'd much rather just discover these things again. So I already know about Faith No More. So
Okay.
we'll go with GNR.
GNR Lies? All right.
And then I'll
Guys, coming up real
listen
soon,
to it.
bonus episode on Guns N' Roses. We're
drop
gonna
it
do
when I find time.
when he's... never mind.
When I find time. I got other shit to do. But I do like doing this.
Jerry's not always allowed to do this, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I've been here. I mean, we've done a lot of content.
I love you, Jerry.
We've done a ton of things in these past.
I'm just saying I love you. I'm full of love.
I'm indifferent.
I want to share it with you. I want to spend this time with you. I want to share this music with you. I want to share our sharing of this music with our listeners.
I'm just glad that we can have a cogent conversation with no one else in the room but me and you, which is important.
You guys write in. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I need to
there's been
stop.
a lot
I need-
of that never mind.
Sometimes I do censor myself. I know people think that I don't have any filter, but sometimes I do.
shit. It always seems like it's gonna be mean spirited.
What?
I've been nothing but positive.
I'm never mean-spirited. I just said I loved you.
I love you too. I love this wallpaper. I love the amazing amount of Andre the Giant I see on this wall, and I really love it.
A lot of Andre the Giant. For you listening, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You can't see shit. We are, I guess it's worth mentioning, we're experimenting with video.
Yes.
The end goal is we will have all of these episodes on video, and they'll be on YouTube. We have a couple up there now that are, whatever,
Yeah.
not in their final form.
Right.
But we are working toward videos so that you can see the beautiful faces of Jerry and I, and whatever, give people another avenue to discover the show.
Oh, right. Anything can happen on video and audio,
Exactly.
as long as no glass breaks. That's the universal sign that something went down.
We're listening to Mr. Mustache right now.
Always love the process of naming a song. I mean, just the idea. Like, this is going to be called Mr. Mustache. Book it, there it is.
Sometimes a title comes first, which is weird.
So you write the ending of a book sometimes, and then you work backwards.
Yeah. Sometimes the title is enough to spark the rest of it. You think of an idea, like a whatever, like, Mr. Mustache.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
And then it comes,
I think if the whole song was like that, I'd like it more. Just a little slower. Just slow it down, guys.
You're going to love some stoner rock.
I like sludge rock, man. One of my favorite metal bands is Blood Duster.
What is this? Sifting? Yeah, Sifting we're listening to. Blood Duster?
Blood Duster. It was
That's
all
a
like
band?
sludge rock. It was a Blood
I don't
Duster.
think I know Blood Duster.
And their seminal hit was Titty.
You're serious?
There's a real
fucking
band called
with
Blood
me?
Duster. Their album covers are absolutely wretched. They used real afflictions.
I don't want to see that.
No, it's terrible. But one of my favorite names for a band, Blood Duster. I mean, I wish I thought of that. It's like
It's a hell of a name.
It's like Syphilis Christmas. That was going to be the name of my band, and it didn't work out.
I can't imagine why.
I didn't learn much about the bass, and I can't sing. You find that album sometimes they're like a episode of Saturday Night Live, where like the real good shit's in the beginning, and then at the end they're like, all right, we got to fill time. This has got to be what it is.
It's funny you mention that because I think that about Nirvana albums. I call it like top heavy or like front heavy. Like they definitely are. I feel like Nevermind has a bit of that going on as well. We'll see. I haven't listened to it in a little bit, but I think so. Whereas other albums, you can see why certain types of songs are at the front of an album. You want to like capture the audience, and the way that usually works is the more obvious stuff, the catchier songs, the more easily palatable type stuff.
Something very lost nowadays.
But I find that in so many records that I really love and have spent a lot of time with over the years, I'll go through phases of like which side I like more or which songs I like more, and often enough it is that back half of the album that I end up liking more in the long run because it is the more nuanced, interesting stuff and that kind of thing. It happens a lot.
It happens all the time. I mean, but
A lot with Soundgarden albums, actually, for me.
But you do have a lull, and you have different lulls, and they're all separated. Like I think the past two albums, the last songs have been wonderful. I mean,
yeah. Well, even like I think of Bad Motorfinger, a Soundgarden album we'll get to. At first, it was all about those first few songs: "Outshined," "Rusty Cage," "Slaves and Bulldozers." But later on, after a while, it's the last 5 songs on that album that are so fucking cool. Maybe more impactful. I don't know. I mean, I love them all, but
Pantera knew how to make a whole album. I don't know what it was about Pantera.
Sometimes.
At least it was consistent.
Yeah. Song's all right. It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. I mean, we stopped talking.
Yeah. Shit, we can't do that. God damn it.
Yeah, we can't do that. Thank God for you.
They're going to delete our whole show if we don't talk every 2 seconds.
I just zoned out during the first time I've zoned out in this whole podcast was just to that.
Wake up, Jerry.
Yeah, I was like, all right. After I said that, I think it should have been a telltale. That
We don't want to let people actually listen to too much music.
on the Twitter, I'm always like, listen to us talk through this.
Why do we bother calling it a music podcast?
It's just something in the background while we talk about our lives. And the shit goes off the rails right here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, switched it up. I think I was bagging leaves at this point in my lawn.
It's good leaf bagging.
Yeah, it's like,
music.
you're looking around, you can't hear your kid talk to you. She's saying something. Here's boom, 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 boom.
This album is top heavy for sure.
Yes. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Refuse is a Wednesday. Boom, 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 boom. Ended. You get used to this. If you don't know, we still have the ring light in front of us. You get used to it after
God
a while.
damn it, Jerry.
You get used to it after. It's oh god damn it. It's pseudo obnoxious, but
We're just trying to have some light. Here's the deal. We're in a garage. We're in my fucking garage, guys. Okay?
metal.
And there are some windows, and all during the day, there's no need to even turn the lights on in here. You come in, it is nice and illuminated from the sun, and it's fantastic. However, Jerry comes over all late at nighttime, and so it's fucking dark out.
The Grunge podcast.
And so
After
we need
Dark.
this light to make the video watchable, right?
Right.
If it's even working.
If we don't even know the camera's still on.
Easily, it could have stopped, which it did last time, guys. We're trying another camera now. Actually, a like 27-year-old fucking cell phone is what we're using right now. But there will be a better camera
On
soon. Coming very soon. Fucking gonna try, guys. Bear with me.
We're gonna take you all levels of media, audio. You write stuff.
Maybe like, I don't know. Should video? Nah, I don't know.
Should be what?
I don't fucking know.
We 4 or 5 times we haven't finished a thought. We gotta finish.
I know, guys. Listen, I'm new to this. Okay, I'm a professional rapper, not a podcaster. So give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm learning on the job. Big Cheese. This is Big Cheese. It wasn't. This is their first album. They weren't fully cooked.
No, this is,
You know?
as far as an album goes, I texted you. I said I don't mind this album at all. I was very happy with it.
Yeah. It's way top heavy for me. The first half, legit.
Yeah.
Back half,
It's
go
there.
fuck yourself.
The party's over.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone clean up. Like, whatever happened was going to happen, and now it's done.
I'm with Chad Channing. He wasn't happy with the direction at this point. I can see what he was unhappy with. Maybe. You go, Chad Channing. Great decision.
I can't say I've ever met a Chad I liked, except for anyone who's on Patreon.
I
Or
don't
my
think
subscribers.
I know any
I knew one.
Chad.
I knew one. I knew 2.
Chads?
Yeah,
Actual Chads?
I'm not gonna go their names, but one.
Oh, wait. You're not talking about their name was Chad. I thought you meant actually Chad.
No. The guy's name is Chad.
Oh, okay.
But he cursed at my mom. It was my first day of school, and this dude,
Well,
Chad.
what was his reason?
I don't know. He said something to me, and then he said something to my mom. I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" But it was like there was this Chad, and then later, flash forward like 6 years ago, he interviewed at my one of my older jobs.
Oh.
It's like, do not hire this man, and it bit him in the ass.
You kept
cursed
him
at
out.
My mom. Yeah, I
Kept him out.
stonewalled that Chad.
Fuck
Felt
you,
great.
Chad.
Get out of my face,
Fuck
Chad.
you.
Yeah, the Chad. He looks at a baby and holds it and says Chad.
I mean, surely, what is Chad? Is it Charles? What is Chad? Is that the name?
I don't know. I
Or
mean,
is that like a
This
thing?
is the first time. I'm gonna look it up.
You gonna look that up? Jerry's gonna bust out his cell
I'm
phone.
gonna bust out what Chad
Do some
is.
Googling.
The Latin version of Chad. Chad origin.
It's short for Chaz.
That's Charlie. That's Charles.
No.
Chaz is Charles.
Chaz Bono is short for chastity.
Yeah,
He?
he. Sorry, I stopped myself, man.
Nope,
I tried.
it was out. Jerry, straight up misgendering people.
Chad is a masculine given name of Anglo-Saxon origin. It is the modernized form of the Old English name given. Given name Ceadda, which is Cheddar if you're going to do it right.
What?
It is also a short form of hypocorism of Charles. Okay, Chad,
Charles, yeah.
Chadwick,
See that?
Chadwick. Until the 20th century,
Chadwick. Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Chad was very rarely used
That's a
as
good
a given
one.
name.
Chad is fantastic.
Chad. Okay, well let's not shit on the name Chad then.
Well,
fuck it.
I mean, we can. Last song of the album, it's called Downer because they understand what they were doing at this point.
Well, that's what this album was.
It's a-
This was a great album. All right.
I mean, all right, it's a rocker.
Goes.
It's a little rocker.
It does what it's supposed to do. Gets you moving, gets you up. If this was the first song you heard at the beginning of the day, yeah, it's not a bad day,
this
you know?
This is Young Dudes in the Basement. I get it. It sounds like the Young Dudes in the Basement.
Mm-hmm.
I was that guy.
Listen to that bass work.
I still write songs in the basement.
Tonight when I'm in my basement listening to an album, I'll picture myself on stage.
Now, when you're home
Yeah.
on just whatever, your average day, your wife's home, your kid is home,
Yeah.
while they're like home and awake and stuff, are you able to just go escape to the basement and do your thing?
No, I mean I want to be around I want to be around my daughter as much as I possibly can. I love being around my family. I like it actually. But if I am by myself, I'm able to break out for like an hour and just do what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a normal human being. I'm not, a servant.
Listen.
Oh wow!
Sorry.
Oh, here we go right back to a
I
good
wanna
song.
restart the beginning there.
Let's end that.
That concludes Bleach from Nirvana, guys. How do we feel about this?
I think what
It's
we were
weird when an album ends.
it just stops.
It's like the shocking silence. Jesus.
and we're done, and now we can be quiet because there's no copyright infringement. So let's give ourselves
Not infringing anything.
Well, my favorite one was the 1 minute of silence at the end. I think every album should have a minute of silence of people just talking over it, where people are just talking, not doing anything.
Wait, how do you feel about this Bleach album?
Loved it. I loved the first. Yeah, I know it's only the first 27 minutes of it.
You feel like it's.
I do believe
same
that
deal,
near the end it does die, but that's everything, so that's every.
no.
No, that's a lot of albums. I'd say 70% of the albums they put everything
This
up
is
front.
not a real statistic.
I'm gonna say that what I've listened to, some of that shit at the end is just the shit at the end.
Yeah.
It's just part of it, and I've learned to accept it. We're going to hear 100.
I don't fucking accept that.
You have to accept
No.
it. Not everything's gonna be excellent.
The more excellent, the better.
We're covering bands that didn't do it as much as every other band has.
Listen, yeah, like some of these albums we're going to listen to, top to bottom, are great.
Righteous, and there's a reason we're doing this.
Yeah,
It's
this
nice
just
on it.
wasn't one of them.
I think it was the first album, and I think it was
It's
good.
half good.
It's half good.
Yeah,
It's like the Ghetto Boys. They did the same thing.
yeah.
Mine's
But I
been-
do love some of those earlier songs on the album.
the first five
First
songs,
half, yeah.
you're just sitting there like that. From the first song on, you're like, this shit's heavy. It's moody. It seems well written, and everything just comes together. It puts you in a place.
Yeah.
At the end, it just seems like we did this, and now it's happening. And now you got to be subjected to it.
Now, do we have a real world plan now to do a bonus episode on GNR Lies?
We do.
That's what we're going to do.
That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
And that
We're
will
gonna
be
do
within the next day and a half, 2 days, probably. Well, now it's 10 o'clock, whatever time.
Jerry is probably lying, but we're going to see
Dude,
what
I've been
happens.
pretty consistent in what I've been doing. I mean, I think I'm.
You've got to let a ball buster bust some balls.
Is that what it is?
I mean,
You gotta let a man who takes off his shoe beat a man with a shoe.
sure. I don't know what just happened. But yeah,
Yeah, no, it's good.
if you were to take off your shoe, you would not slip.
I wouldn't slip.
You'd be fine.
I got those things.
Because you got those
No,
socks.
I'm looking forward to it. I do have to listen to Lies again, which I wasn't too enthusiastic to the first enthusiastic about the first time.
I mean,
but-
don't even listen to it ahead of time.
All right,
You know?
we all know
Why
how that
bother?
worked. These first two,
Well-
the first two were like, all right, this is great.
It's up to you. Listen, you do what
Silence.
you need to do. If you feel better coming in a little familiar,
I think-
you do that. If you want to be surprised and react to the music, you can do that.
I don't want to come in. I'll try to appreciate it. I'll listen. I'll skim through it. You know,
All right.
I think that's the way to go. What were your thoughts? I mean, you've owned this album. You experienced it.
Yeah, it's just that. I love songs from that first half of the album. Last half of the album doesn't really do it for me. They weren't fully cooked.
Not yet.
You know, they were young dudes. Kurt was figuring it out. He had a drummer that was on his way out. It is what it is. You're hearing the very early days of a band. And, you know, same with Soundgarden. Those first records are a far cry from Super Unknown and
Right.
Down on the Upside. Like, not the same thing.
We have a lot of that to go through in these early episodes, which is nice. And I think as we go through it, man, I'm sort of looking forward to it to see how like these guys aged. You know, and it's one of those things. Sure, they started off as Mad Dog 2020, and they're going to end up as like Cristal. It is
As what?
Not two different types of alcohol, but it is what it is. But so you start off as bum wine and end up as a fantastic, bottle of shit.
All right. On that
that's how
note,
we
guys,
end it.
I guess that's it for another episode of The Grunge. Join us at thegrungepodcast.com. Until next time, don't be a square.